Welcome to the show.
Tripped into the Art versus the World, episode 1, season 1,
Very nice.
with Cheryl Staker. Well, what should we talk about?
Well, bodies?
We should talk about bodies.
Yeah, this page is open to the G spot. I guess there's that.
Here, I'll change it to a different page. Pelvic floor physical therapy. That seems more appropriate.
Yeah, I was watching a documentary the other day about yoni eggs, actually, which are egg-shaped things that you can put inside yourself to like use your pelvic muscles to get up and then back down. Apparently, it's very good for you.
Oh, what did you have for breakfast today?
Just to change the subject.
What did you have for breakfast today?
Yoni eggs, actually.
Did we already say, welcome to Art versus the World? I'm your host, Layla Block, and this is your guest,
Cheryl Pineapple.
Cheryl
Hi.
Pineapple. Will you blow up this boat so that we can sit in the boat?
Yeah, that sounds great.
I don't know where the hole is.
Well,
There
there's
it
a few holes.
is. Yeah, this one will be good.
Yeah. Let's start with this one.
We're gonna sail away to paradise. I think I just made that song up. Is it working?
Yeah, see?
Do you think it's gonna take just a minute longer?
Uh-huh. Countdown from 60.
Okay, 60,
Oh, how's this mic?
59, 58, 57, 56, 55, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The boat is inflated.
Yay! Where do you want to go?
I don't know. Oh, to paradise.
All right, let's go.
Okay. You can take one oar.
Thanks.
I'll keep this oar. Max, can you finish blowing up the boat for us? We need him to blow up the boat. Where would you like to sit? You can sit with the tiger and blow up the boat. That seems nice. Here you go.
Welcome. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to Art versus the World. This is your boat blower, Max.
Hey, Max.
Okay. Back to the show. Let's do the real thing now. Oh,
Okay.
I guess this is the real thing.
Okay. Wow, look at all these people. Oh, did you make this?
No, actually. It was
Oh.
a page in a magazine that I got here at the Berkeley Community Media. Thank you to Berkeley Community Media for making Art versus the World at Berkeley Community Media possible. And then I colored it and then I cut it out.
Oh, so you did make it.
I d-
Yeah, very nice. Great. What was your inspiration?
that I'm really into Trinity from The Matrix.
Oh.
And I want to dress like her.
Cool.
And
This is
these
the
ladies are all wearing
inspiration. Latex.
latex.
Yeah,
Latex.
that's cool. Thank you. Is this for me?
It's more a bookmark.
Oh, okay.
History of abortion in the United States.
Ooh, let's go with something safe.
Abortion has been used to control fertility in every known society, regardless of its legality. There's a lot of people that have a lot of things to say about abortion, but lately there's these ladies in person and in books and in pictures that are saying, like, I had an abortion. And like, oh, everyone knows I had an abortion, where it's like not something to be ashamed of and scared of if for some reason you needed to have one.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's not something to be ashamed of at all. Yeah, I think that, I agree with that idea that women or people with uteruses should be in control of them completely. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, I think also, it's really scary when they start to illegalize that kind of stuff because then it just makes them more and more dangerous, right?
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
We're trying to see to it that people get to feel good about that. Are you doing okay? Cool.
Do you see stars?
A little, that's all.
Bodies. Oh, feeling good about our bodies, feeling like we're in control of our bodies, feeling like the way that our bodies is now is the way our bodies is now, and that it's nice.
Yeah. There's a lot in the world that's trying to make you hate yourself, right? And there's a lot of stuff in the world that's trying to make you hate your body shape, that's trying to make you hate your face, that's trying to make you hate whatever kind of creativity you have. There's a lot in the world. So you need to connect with people who are amazing. And love each other and love yourselves. Aw, I love you.
I love you. That's really cute. That's really cute. Advocating for ourselves. That's what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is a show about advocating for yourself as a creative person. Also
Yeah.
as a person with a body, whether you're a lady or any other type of body.
Right.
You get to do whatever you want because of free will, but you can be nice to yourself.
Yeah, that's a really important thing.
Okay, speaking of being nice to yourself and having free will, okay, here's just an example. Last night, all I had to do was like prepare for the show today or whatever else I wanted because free will. And instead of what I did was I like felt kind of bad-ish, like not terrible, just like kind of bad. And I made all these like weird collages. I had like paint and I was doing things, but I like didn't feel good the whole time. And this morning when I woke up and I looked at it, I was like, whoa, I actually did a lot of art last night, but I didn't feel good.
While you were doing it, you
Yeah.
didn't feel good? Yeah, that's interesting, huh? Because it's like it's a therapeutic thing that you were doing on some kind of level. Why didn't you feel good about it at the time?
I don't know. I mean, let's see.
Did you feel like you were supposed to be doing something else? And like maybe this didn't have value? The collages didn't have value? Blow a bubble.
I think because I don't support myself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard thing, huh? Yeah, I think a lot of people are like that. I mean, I have that feeling too. Yeah, I guess also we had a great conversation before, and I wish you were all here for that, but like we were talking about we have grown up in a capitalist society that like doesn't really value creativity, and it doesn't encourage you to be creative unless it's to make money and stuff, you know? So like to find a value that isn't some kind of monetary value for something, it's a little bit challenging because you're going like off script. You know, you're like in the peripheral somewhere trying to find a value for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's important to do, right? I mean, like, let me tell you a story. So a few years ago, I guess like in my early 20s, I was doing the kind of stuff that I'm doing right now, where, is this finished? Where I was like, I spent most of my time doing things that I enjoyed and that made me feel good. Like I was making music and I was making zines and I was doing a whole bunch of stuff, and like I didn't care about my day job. I don't even really remember what I was doing as a day job. And then at some point I felt like I had to grow up, and I was working a ridiculous like 13 hours a day, 6 days a week job because I felt like I needed some kind of recognition from the outside world, you know? And I didn't have time for music and blah, blah, blah. I was also in a relationship that wasn't supportive of my true self. And then I was actually living in London at the time, and I didn't get to renew my visa, and my whole world that I'd been building there like collapsed. And then blah, 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 blah. I ended up here, which is cool because then it's kind of like a whole like clean slate, you know, like it's not exactly because I have my memories and I know what I have done in my life, but arriving here where no one knew me was scary because like you also have no credentials when you meet a lot of people, but it means that I didn't feel like I had to do this job or do something else, like I was building from nothing, almost, not nothing, but kind of. And now, okay, this is the point of my story. Okay, here we go. And so now I'm really happy, you know, like I do have a day job, and I'm really lucky because it affords me enough time and money to live my life pretty comfortably. And yeah, and I just have recognized that inside of myself I have this drive where I just have to be making shit all the time. And I have to be making like a whole variety of things. And it's not that, I mean, there's an issue in our culture, I think, where people feel like they have to be productive, like they feel like they have to be making stuff. And I'm always trying to like balance that feeling of like having to be productive with this feeling of like, this is actually what makes me happy. Like this is the only thing in my life that makes me happy, is just to be like creating stuff and like coming up with these ideas and like bringing them to life and inviting people to enjoy them, you know? Yeah. How about you?
What?
It's really important that that you recognize like the value of all of these things that you're creating and that you're doing, because like that's the only thing that makes me happy and feels worthwhile.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, to think of this as valuable.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only true value. really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I definitely was thinking for a bit of it when moving your hands that that's how you move your hands. When I saw you that one time on stage as Miss Moist, and you do these like great hands. Where did you learn how to do those hands?
I'm not really sure. I think about swimming a lot. I love swimming.
You think about it a lot?
Yeah, I always I guess when I'm dancing and stuff, I always imagine being in the water. Maybe also I learned a little bit, one of my amazing, wonderful, super talented, inspiring friends in Australia teaches Bollywood dancing. So every time I'm back there, I take some classes with her and pick up some more moves. And it makes me feel really good. I love dancing.
I love dancing too.
Yeah.
Okay. When I do music, that is actually one thing that I'm very scared to do, is move my body. I feel like maybe it's something to do with the singing, the playing the guitar, and dancing at the same time is like maybe a little harder than I would like it to be. But like, you just moving. I want to be just moving. Like, I guess on this show you stay very still, but we can try moving.
Yeah, definitely we can move.
We can try dancing our way into the boat.
Okay, great.
Can you put music on? If anybody can hear me, is there any way that you could put any music on?
Well, it's nice of you to say that because I feel quite stiff on stage too.
Oh.
But also at the same time, when I see you perform, I've never noticed you being stiff. Like you always seem so like comfortable. Yeah, so comfortable and mesmerizing. Yeah.
Mesmerizing. Okay, let's return to the original plan.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, you were talking about sharing when you gave that long, nice story, and like, you didn't say being proud of your work, but knowing that your work has. Okay, now I'm going to say
value.
Value, and it's like a contribution, a positive contribution. When you throw a show or you participate in a show, like the Happy Birthday Horse, it seems to be an annual ordeal.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of yourself goes into this thing, and then the day happens, and then it's done.
Yeah.
So, but isn't there a part of you that's like, but it's for nothing. It's not for anything.
Oh, I think that I've had that experience before, but I don't feel that way when I do Happy Birthday Horse, for example. Like Happy Birthday Horse is an annual event, is an annual event, and it's actually the birthday of horses on the 1st of August in the Southern Hemisphere. And it's like a really broad event because we put together a zine that's all horse-related stuff, and I try and do a tape of music, but that's a bit harder to coordinate. And then we have the event, which has always been really amazing because we get a lot of femme bands. Like every single time that we've done it, we've made a lot of money, which all goes to the performers, and that feels really positive for me because a lot of femme bands, and especially like women of color, people of color, get asked to play benefit shows, which is great because the community needs stuff. But then that means that they're not getting money to themselves, you know? So it feels good to do that. And also because the afterglow lasts for such a long time. Like people, like months afterwards, are like, oh, that show was so good, and it was so much fun, and like, yeah. So for that one, I don't feel disappointed. But I know what you mean because it's kind of like, you know, Christmas or something like that, when you have these like expectations and then like you peak and then you crash. But with Happy Birthday Horse, it's always this kind of like slower, and then it's the time for the next one. Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks for playing last year as well, by the way. Yeah.
And it actually is very cool to get paid for things because normally you don't get paid for things.
Yeah.
I think this is it. You're good.
I wonder what this part is. It's like a stingray. The little bit of a stingray.
Little flaps.
Yeah.
Are you going to take our picture?
Yeah.
Oh, this is nice. I like it
Yeah.
when it's like a picture within the picture.
Great.
Let's show them the tattoo that I
Oh,
gave you
yeah,
that's
the
horse
tattoo.
related. Okay, giving tattoos is one of the things where I don't get that same feeling because it's forever.
Yeah.
It's like, this art is not ephemeral. This art is forever.
Yeah, I mean, until I die.
So that's that. Happy Birthday Horse. I put that there tattoo. The boat game is happening right now. Erotic poems. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because in exchange for the tattoo, you gave me this little zine book and a Miss Moist sticker. To see you like openly sharing these poems, and then to like see you branding your, you know, because the sticker, the art, and it's like you on the bed. And then I was looking at your pictures online, and it's you in the ball gagging.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
but
true.
the shame. I'm not embarrassed for you. I'm embarrassed for me because I have sexual shame, and I don't want to have sexual shame anymore. And if I want to have my art be of a sexual nature, I want to be able to do that without feeling like someone's going to be creepy to me.
Yeah.
Somehow, I don't know, like how we can explore these
feelings and ideas. Yeah.
Without being uncomfortable.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not easy, right? Like, I feel like when I was, like in my early 20s back, I was a little bit more brazen in my public persona, but also less forthcoming, like in my private life. I mean, like sometimes with that zine, it's the XXX candy zine. Like, there's definitely things in it where I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I should have put that out in public. You know, like maybe that's intimate, a little bit of an intimate moment, or it's confronting. And I've definitely spoken to people who like started reading it in front of me and then had to put it down, like, and they were all like hot and bothered, and feeling a little bit confronted, maybe. But yeah, like we were saying earlier, I just don't really know why people, I mean, it's not that I don't ever feel shame about it, like I'm not sure why people feel shame, and I think it's a tragedy because that we don't embrace sexuality in any kind of positive way, and it's so like, you know, like it's so European to do that because there are other cultures in the world that don't have that kind of taboo around sexuality. Yeah, and it's really tragic that it's another thing that, you know, we internalize the shame and like a certain amount of self-hatred and stuff because of it, because you feel like your desires are wrong and stuff. Yeah, it's terrible. So, yeah, like I guess that kind of thing is trying to make a better world for myself, like to create sensual and sexual art is, you know, like trying to explore myself and be brave and expose myself, and it's also trying to like pave a way, I guess, for other people to not feel shame about that stuff too. Yeah, you know, like it's a journey. It's not like I've never felt ashamed of things. Yeah.
Well, where is the line between like the positive kind of vulnerability where you're sharing yourself and people feel enriched by what you're sharing, and the vulnerability where like people can hurt you? You're like opening, you're like basically asking people to hurt you because you're being so vulnerable.
That's a good question. I think in the arts community in the Bay, I feel really safe, and I've always kind of like, I feel like I've always kind of like burrowed down into these, you know, like subversive, subcultural kind of communities, and I think that's always been like really nourishing. I've definitely had people, not so much with my art, but just like on a personal intimacy level, I've had people who don't understand, like a woman who is so forthcoming or whatever sexually, and like think that it's not linked to attachment and love and care and stuff as well. So I guess I haven't felt it on an artistic level, but I've felt it on a personal level. Yeah. Just
so
sad.
It is a constant, you're on both sides of it.
Yeah.
Being vulnerable in a strong way and being vulnerable in a way that ends up hurting.
Yeah, and I think it's good to, I mean, yeah, it's easier said than done to like know what your value is and create like clear boundaries and stuff, you know, and to like, with your creative stuff, it's really important that you know that what you're doing is valuable. Like it's hard to always believe in yourself, but it's important to do that.
Wait, how do you know? Because for all I know, I'm like, he's literally texting. He's the front row audience member and he's texting, you know?
I think he's just tweeting about the show.
Are you tweeting about the show?
Yeah.
Are you live tweeting
like
the show?
Checking his health on his app. How's my heart rate right now? How's my mic? How's my heart rate? Please tell me, Fern.
Even if we're not looking for external validation, where is my internal point of that this is good? Or that this is valuable?
I think like what we were saying before, you just have to understand, well, for me, like this is the only thing that makes me happy, and that's what the value is. Yeah.
It does make me happy. Do you want to dance?
No,
What's your dream job?
My dream job. You know, the first best 6 months of my life was when I was on unemployment and I was just making zines and music all the time. The best 6 months of my life. So
Were you
that's
actually doing it all the time though, like every day?
Yeah, every day I would do stuff and I was hanging out with friends and I was like so happy. It was great. Is that the end?
Almost.
Yeah.
Okay, what would be your dream project to create if you had all the resources?
Ooh, I feel like I would want to make some kind of movie with like lots of color and beautiful lighting and stuff like that.
Okay, we can do that.
Something.
Can you horse her out?
Yeah.
Great. I love horses.
Do you have any outgoing words while he prepares the horse?
Giddy up.
This the world.
Okay.
Art versus their world.
1, 2, 3.
Art versus their world. Art versus their world.